I'm Seth Sigler. I'm a doctor of OBGYN and an addiction medicine specialist at Rutland Women's Healthcare. The first time I think I really thought about being a doctor is actually a kind of a specific moment with my mother. Do you remember the show, like Mystery Diagnosis? Yeah, so it would be like some bizarre medical complaint, and then they would tell you the diagnosis at the end. So we were watching it together because my mom is a medical coder, so I was kind of always around like medical topics and like hearing about them. So we're watching that show, and I had already taken anatomy and physiology for my undergrad, and at that time I was wanting to do physical therapy, and they talk about the patient presentation, and I'm like, I think it's this diagnosis. And sure enough, it was. My mom's like, you should really think about being a doctor. And I had never really thought about it until that point. Then I looked into it and switched my major, and the rest, as they say, is history. The major difference between osteopathic physicians and medical doctors, the DO versus MD, is that DOs learn manipulation in their medical school training. And I actually did another year of that training, so I can provide manipulation to my patients. A lot of people will think of manipulation as like the bone cracking, like chiropractors do, but I focus more on like muscle stretching and working with muscles to help make them function better and help reduce pain. One of the things that I have an interest in caring for is patients who struggle with addiction. I grew up in Southeast Ohio and did all of my medical school training in Southern Ohio, which really got hit very, very hard by the opioid epidemic. And then where I did residency in Akron, Ohio, we did a ton of addiction care and withdrawal management in pregnant patients. And I really love taking care of those patients and supporting those patients through that process. I mean, in obstetrics in particular, there are many, many women who struggle with addiction and become pregnant. And a lot of times that can be the first time in some women's lives that they're willing to seek out help for addiction because they're no longer, thinking about themselves anymore. And I think the beauty of being able to address that as an obstetrician is I can put that in the context of their pregnancy. So I can help them get on medications to help with cravings and manage their withdrawal while also, providing them support throughout their pregnancy. One of the benefits that patients have when they are a patient at Rutland is we have an extremely collaborative team. Everyone is supportive of each other, and that really shines through in the care that we provide to patients, because then it's centered on that patient and how best we can serve that patient. Me and my partner, Kelsey, we both love to long distance backpack. So when I was in medical school, we have a sort of a long summer between your first and second year where you can do research or whatever. I decided to backpack the Appalachian Trail. So I hiked from Maine to New York State over about 2.5 months. And Vermont was one of my favorite places that I hiked through. And then so when we were looking for jobs, we were kind of looking for jobs sort of in New England and sort of near mountains. And luckily this job opened up and we applied and got the jobs. So here at Rutland, we have 5 core values that we all as employees strive to meet for our patients. And the one that resonates most with me is compassion. I think that's the most important thing you can do for patients, is just be empathetic and be kind and listen to what they have to say and make sure they feel supported and make sure they feel heard.